So, how did Jordyn Woods beat the Kardashians at their own game? We have spoken about the situation, spoken about, what really happened, but have we spoken about how and what she did to really beat them at their own game? Here is a quick 5-minute summary. Hey guys, it's Maradi. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Back at it again with another video. If you have not subscribed, guys, click that button for daily and consistent content. Head over to my Instagram, my Patreon, my merch, subscribe, and let's get straight into this video. Let's get straight into this. The Kardashians are experts, guys, at silencing their detractors. In the wake of the Tristan Thompson cheating scandal, again, especially with the recent individuals, however, with Jordyn Woods, there was something else that took place where she changed the narrative as opposed to the previous scandals that the Kardashians have kind of gone through. And they're kind of known for their scandals. That tape is one example, and several other situations. This is what has kind of pushed them up. Controversy is what they rely on to remain relevant, and they use that kind of monetary value that they gain from controversy to put in and funnel into their businesses. It's a great PR move, but this is how they remain relevant. Over the last 14 years, the Kardashians have dominated pop culture and built a brand worth over $2 billion. But many of their biggest career successes stemmed from scandals. Each week, something else is being reviewed on the news 24/7. And when we look at this Jordyn Woods scandal with the whole situation, this is how basically Jordyn Woods play the Kardashians at their own game. Who the F does this B think she is? Khloe screamed at Kris Jenner in 2019. My world got destroyed whilst Jordyn's doing press interviews about it. And obviously, you can see that she was screaming in the particular car because, this news broke out. They used it for ratings and everything, and it became a huge controversy in the summer of 2019. And it's obviously no secret that Kris keeps a stack of NDAs in a Calabasas home, ensuring that anyone who enters the Kardashians' orbit is forever at the mercy of their power. Kris Humphries and Blac Chyna are an example. They were once part of the Kardashians' inner circle before being rejected and denied any control over their own narratives. The Kardashians had similarly attempted to oust Jordyn in the days after news broke that she'd hooked up with Khloe's boyfriend Tristan Thompson. The family tweeted that she was responsible for the alleged tryst in a clear attempt to position Jordyn as the villain whilst stoking sympathy for Khloe. But now Jordyn was subverting tradition by speaking publicly, leaving the family furious. I feel like this in itself was essential. She's been with Kylie since she was a 12-year-old. She's been around the family. She knows the ins and outs of how the family work. So that in itself was huge ammunition as well. Jordyn had used a connection to secure an interview. I believe the Smith family were a huge asset that allowed that allowed Jordyn Woods to overcome that kind of narrative of being pushed away from the family or being dragged by them, other like previous people have, or blackballed, which has happened previously as well. That in itself was a huge asset. It was a savvy move that not only offered Jordyn protection. The Smiths are, after all, one of the few families in the world with more power than the Kardashians, but also allowed her to immediately release her version of events to a mass audience. The keyword is immediate. A week after the news broke, she would reveal that Tristan had kissed her before publicly apologizing to Khloe. Unlike Keeping Up, which would take a year to air on cable, Red Table Talk, get this guys, broadcast across the internet within a week. More than 7.5 million people tuned into that Red Table Talk in the first 24 hours. A record-breaking audience that was 6 times the numbers who eventually viewed Keeping Up version of events. So, of course, Keeping Up, the disadvantage is whatever happens, we will see it within 6 months onwards, not right away, which is annoying. Jordyn got in there quick, got the interview done, and had triple or quadruple the amount of the audience, so a lot more people saw her views. She was very calculated in what she was trying to do to protect herself, and I feel like it definitely worked. I think she was doing it out of fear. She had the great connections as well, and it just worked in her favor. That was one of the first major events that allowed her to play the Kardashians at their own game. And in admitting that to the most damning detail of the story, Jordyn undermined the family's ability to control the narrative on their own terms whilst, controlling herself as well. In fact, midway through the interview, the second biggest point is that Khloe tweeted that Jordyn was a liar. Why are you lying, Jordyn? If you're going to try and save yourself by going public instead of calling me privately to apologize first, at least be honest about your story. You are the reason my family broke up. Jordyn is not the reason. And that is what has messed up, because you've now completely blamed her out of anger. It's more so Tristan as well as. And that in itself, the fact that you're pushing it all on Jordyn, nothing on Tristan, is a huge problem. Huge problem. And that was the second biggest mishap. The third biggest mishap is when the other Kardashian girls try to jump in with shady stories, which they deleted because they regret it. When it all becomes a gang up, no matter who's in the wrong or the right, the public will obviously side with the person who's being ganged up on, because nobody likes to see somebody getting bullied. Nobody does that, regardless of their. So you're taking away the blame from them by ganging up on them. So again, as PR girls, they should have known all of that, and they didn't. These three, I think, were the biggest. The connection with the Smiths, Khloe's dumb tweet about blaming Jordyn Woods solidly, which she has yet to apologize for, and also the other girls getting involved. Khloe began trending, with people critiquing her for failing to attribute any blame to Tristan, and calling out the Kardashians as privileged women with a long history of cultural appropriation for attempting to wield their power to tarnish the reputation of a young black woman. So the Kardashians really did that to Jordyn and said nothing to Tristan? Insane. People are obviously really irritated by it. Having been around the Kardashians since the age of 12, Jordyn had unrivaled access to the family's way of operating and successfully used that knowledge to beat them at their own game. The public had made their feelings known, and they were siding with Jordyn Woods. So that in itself, I feel, is a quick summary on how she beat them at their own game, how the Kardashian girls didn't see it coming, and how it ended up being one of the biggest Uno reverse cards that anybody had ever really expected. And since then, she has massively catapulted into a big career out of it. Not huge, but she has made more money than she was being with them. And that is something that I feel that they never had, they've changed the game now when it comes to any scandal. They don't all talk about it because they can make a career out of that person. And that in itself was a big game changer for the Kardashians, big game changer for Jordyn Woods. And I just wanted to give a quick 5 to 6 minute summary on the situation. Let me know what your thoughts are. Subscribe to the channel, click that button for daily and consistent content, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.